Good Wednesday morning. Try a Wednesday morning here. Hey, is that car? If you looked up my videos probably for the last month, I bet that car's been in the same spot. It's an electric car. Nobody drives it. Yeah, right. Oh, it's hard to believe it's Wednesday morning. It's Ice Age TV. Welcome to my channel. If you follow me and watch me and listen to my stories and my ideas and adventures of cars and trucks and motorcycles and oh my goodness gracious, cold. It's getting colder. Come on over here. You're not doing that. And the dogs are already getting on their mission to go bug me this morning, which it's all about going to work like everybody else, get the day going. And wow. Come on, pups. Yes, this is what drives maddening as a person. See this property I have? Do you see this here? Look at my property. Just look all around. You know what the dogs do? And I've had a lot of dogs. All my dogs usually want to go hang out right there. Right up there. Next to the main road. And then people walk by and blah, blah, blah. It's just, it's the opposite. Wouldn't you think it'd be the opposite? Wouldn't you think the dogs would be like, wanting to run around the big yard over here? No. They want to, come on, let's go. Come on. Come on, let's go. Get in. Come on, Ginger. Let's go. Scout. Yeah, so it's the opposite. Whatever you do is the opposite. Oh, my gosh. Come on. What's the conversation today? Yeah, before I get to that, so yesterday when I was finishing up my video, come on, Scout. Let's go. Come on, Scout. So this guy just seemed to be a pain in the butt this morning, like people, right? Come on, let's go. Watched my video yesterday. I said, hey, I need to go test drive a Toyota Tundra. And surprise me, I truly thought yesterday that I would be, this dog here is going to be a pain. It's going to be a challenge for me. Let's go. Get in. Yeah, so I truly thought yesterday I'd be showing a video of me test driving a Toyota Tundra. That truck came out last year, redesigned, and I've been sitting on the sidelines, and I just haven't been focused on it, but now I'm kind of focused on the Toyota Tundra. Yeah. So, I put an application at a local dealer. I thought to myself, you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and apply for credit. Let's get those rocking chairs. It blows me away that it took me all these years to figure out to get rocking chairs for my barn. Yeah. Look at that Echo chainsaw. Yeah, it's battery powered. Yeah, how about that, right? So anyway, so my thought was, I wouldn't mind getting a Tundra. And there's the battery. Look at this. One thing I try to do is have all the same brand batteries instead of all these freaking, it gets so complicated. All these different batteries. Anyways, yeah, so my thoughts were, you know what? They had a really nice Toyota Tundra double cab truck, not the full crew. I really don't want to buy a high-end Tundra truck because they have just such nice trucks as it is. And I've got ideas. See, unbeknownst to many people, I just have ideas. All right, pups. It's the office time. Let's get up here and go to work. And it's cold because it gets very expensive heating this office here just for it to be heated throughout the day when there's nobody here in it because I'm usually out in the field working. And look at that, see? So they do the same thing. Same seat. Told about that yesterday. Humans were kind of like the same thing day in, day out. So yeah, so for the Toyota Tundra, I thought to myself, you know what I'll do? I will submit an application just to get the financing in order. Just so if I get up there and I really like the truck, instead of test driving it and all that other stuff and spending the day there, I just don't want to do that. I just want to pretty much put it to bed. If they give me the financing, I can go test drive it. If I like it, then I may buy it. And I have other ideas. Should I buy the Toyota Tundra truck, then I may part with something else. But I don't know yet because I haven't driven the truck. And so here's the thing. Yesterday, I tried to get the deal done. And the financing company is basically like, no, this is Toyota Financial. I've been with Toyota Financial on that line for 30 plus years. Yeah. Never one incident. Even when I went broker than broke, I didn't sour them. I kept on paying Toyota. I never ever, what you could say, crapped on them, to be a kind of a nasty YouTube word. I never disrespected them. I always took care of them. And so for the Toyota Tundra, the challenge is I have such incredible relationships with dealers, but then I lose key people in these dealerships that go somewhere else, and then it's very difficult to get deals done. It's all about the relationship. It isn't what you know, it's who you know. So here's the thing. Toyota Finance's position is that that basically the GM, the general sales manager, calls me yesterday, and he's like, "We can't get you approved." I'm like, "Why?" He's like, "We have too many cars." I'm like, "Well, I've had too many cars my whole life. Is this anything new?" I mean, so anyways, he couldn't overcome the objection to Toyota Financial, even though I just had Toyota Financial till just up recently, till this past summer when I sold my Toyota Avalon, and they didn't call me and tell me to stop paying my car payments today because I have too many cars, right? So the guy, he can't get anything done. So is that an ongoing project? Maybe. There's a key guy that I used to work with that's at another Toyota dealership, but he's just not real close by. It's not as convenient. He doesn't have a truck I really want. So does that play out today? I don't know. 50-50. Do I actually do it? I'm about to drive a truck, but I just want to kind of get the financing in place. And I just, right. So anyways, what's the conversations today? Even though the Toyota Tundra truck would be a great conversation today if that deal ever went through, and go test drive it and get my impressions and just get an idea what it is and blah, blah, blah. That's just who I am. The motorhead to the max always has something different, new, change up. Yeah, that's who I am. That's my challenge in life. I like to change it up. So I got to think this morning, it's the opposite. It's the opposite. More than ever, I think today more than ever, is anybody like paying attention? And we have the opposite effect. And if we all just step back and we kind of think about, how they say opposites attract each other? Opposing energies, how do you get energy? All the science stuff, which I'm not the scientist by any means. So, yeah, the opposite. I think to myself, more than ever today, where we are right now, and this does have to deal with cars. I know some people that watch my channel kind of think, it's going to be such a, kind of conversations. He's not showing us his new Tundra today. He's not showing us his new CVO Road Glide green machine that he talked about, or whatever. Okay, well, there's only so many times you can go buy something every day, if you know what I mean. So for me, I like to share my experiences and what I do. And as crazy as I am, crazier than ever. This year will go down the craziest year yet. Yeah, crazy beyond crazy. So, and it's actually the opposite even for me, because last year I was focused on getting rid of a lot of stuff, which I did, but borderline this year I've done the opposite and bought back a lot of stuff. Yeah, right. Oh my gosh. So I think about the car industry, which revolves around energy. More than ever, we're hearing about the challenges of energy. And what I think to myself about is Russia. This is just beyond believable. And it's not political. It's just the facts. I mean, it doesn't matter what side of the party you're on. It's just the reality, because it's just beyond believable. Russia invaded Ukraine, as everybody knows, and it's an ongoing war. Now, Russia has had huge world sanctions from other governing bodies trying to punish it for the war with Ukraine. And so you would think when that was released, you think to yourself, okay, hey, this is good. All the governing bodies are going to go against Russia, and they're going to try to harm them economically from their war with Ukraine. And so everybody's thinking, okay, we'll shut down Ukraine or Russia's capability to sell oil and blah, blah, blah. It's the opposite. The total opposite has happened in the world, excuse me, from Russia. Because if you're reading the news, the natural gas is gone through the roof because of Russia shutting off the spigot to Europe for natural gas. So it's the opposite effect. Everybody's saying when the war started that since we were going to put sanctions on Russia, it was going to economically impact them and put huge financial strains on them. And eventually they'd have to raise their arm, raise their hand, and get the white flag and go back home and leave Ukraine alone. It's not happening. What's happening is Europe is in a total distress energy mode where they're scrambling like crazy to figure out how they're going to get through this cold winter. And people in Europe are paying incredible energy costs. Even to the point, I was reading a whole article in Italy, their textile manufacturing industry over there is getting killed because they use natural gas for their big dryers and heaters to make textile products, and it's running them out of business because it's so expensive. What one guy used to pay for a year of natural gas is now 1 month. And now I'm reading that the cargo ships are charging up to $450,000 a day to utilize a ship to offload natural gas. So it's just totally the opposite has happened by the world governing bodies. I mean, more than ever, citizens of this world, how do we start getting a message to the governing bodies of our countries? And they're making massive mistakes at the hands of just totally ruining citizens' lives more than ever. So to me, the car industry is all part of that. And so I'm going to be like, well, you're just now kind of going to the war. It's more political conversations more than Mr. Iceman. Well, sorry to break the bad news. Anybody watches my channel, but the whole automotive industry revolves around the economic infrastructure of the whole freaking world. So think this through. The used car prices isn't the opposite supposed to happen when you buy a used car? It's supposed to be cheaper than a new car? Hello, what's happened in the last year plus where used cars are selling more than a new car? And used cars aren't like, you go buy a used car, save money anymore. You buy a used car just to be so thankful you can get a used car because the new car market's all dried up. The opposite, the total opposite effect. You can look at the pandemic. It's the total opposite end result of what the goal was to help others, protect others. Yet more than ever, we're witnessing how things have gone through the roof from the pandemic economically. So for me, I just was thinking to myself last night, as you read all these stories, this is what the Wall Street Journal, this is business stories. And you read the stories of the economic hardships that are going on in today's world when people were told by the governing bodies of what would happen, but it's actually the opposite happens. But yet nobody really talks about this. The media machine doesn't ratchet up that, hey, Mr. or Mrs. So-and-so, you're so wrong on the decisions that you're governing your society and your country with. You're making huge, huge mistakes. Even this country here. The whole oil thing, it turns political because one side of the party wants nothing to do with drilling oil here in this country. A whole other side wants to drill oil in this country. So it turns political because an individual is in office that's supported by the anti-drillers. And then if a different person's also, once again, but what does that create? It creates expensive energy when you cut down the potential to do your own domestic energy resources, even though we're now depleting the reserves, bigger than ever seen, that we're just going to, they're going to continue to just deplete our reserves of oil, which is really only to stabilize the price of oil. I mean, so this opposite effect that has happened, even in our own country where, the position has been, well, if we, try to be more green agenda. And that's what I'm trying to convey through my message this morning is the opposite effect happens. So the green agenda is all about green is better for us, better for the world. The list goes on and on and on. But in the end, it'll be the opposite of what you were told would be factual. Because we already are seeing that the green agenda is extremely expensive. And we will never know the real answer of what the green agenda did for Mother Nature. There'd be too many variables. The variables would be infinite. That's the physics and physical plane we live on. There's variables It's all numbers. The whole universe is based off of numbers. That's the scientists tell me, at least, or that's what you hear. It's all equations, right? So for me, I think more than ever in our society and time, we are being so misled. We have people in power that create things from the opposite message. Meaning they present this, but the total opposite ends from it. So just look at the electric vehicles. The whole premise of electric vehicles was an affordable vehicle where people could buy these and they're going to save money. Does anybody remember these conversations that when Elon Musk went downtown to present his business plan to get $1 billion to government, and Tesla was going to be the people's affordable electric car that the masses could own? Does anybody remember this? What was the real pitch? I mean, I've never heard the governing bodies go after Elon Musk for telling a lie, that he never fulfilled that promise. Yeah, hello? Is anybody listening? Is anybody talking? So what happens is, you're whatever you're told, it's the opposite effect of what comes from it. Because Elon Musk, what he created was the wealthy to enjoy the latest, greatest technology in an electric vehicle, and that's who owned the Teslas. It was all the wealthy people. It's a status symbol. And if anybody here argues with that, I'm like, you're kidding me. You're telling me the first generation Teslas wasn't a status symbol? Oh my gosh. The California people flock to that like you can't believe. That's their whole infrastructure over there is Tesla. Yeah, where's the affordable Tesla? Okay, all right. Yeah, I hear you. Yeah. How many years later? Well, yeah, I know the variables. Yeah, I know, I understand. Excuse. So more than ever right now in our society, we're letting the governing bodies of the world tell us things when everything actually ends up being opposite of what they're telling us will happen. And if we just continue to slog along, and that's why I'm talking about this with the Green Agenda, because the Green Agenda is a huge impact to the Ice Age. The Ice Age, the Green Agenda so desperately wants to get rid of the Ice Age. I mean, they want to do this as fast as possible. But the opposite effect will come from it, because nobody will talk or think through what happens when you eliminate all the ICE vehicles, which I'm not, most people watch my channel, I'm not that ignorant. It's not going to happen overnight. I mean, the green people may think it will. It's not. The ICE vehicles are going to be around a lot longer than you want to maybe accept. And the ICE vehicles, for the record, aren't the thing that'll destroy the world. A nuclear bomb. What happens when the nuclear bomb's still going off? What does that do to Mother Nature? Hello? Is that potential on our doorstep more than ever? Well, this radical Russia guy, yeah, you don't think that guy would probably do it? Yeah, I guarantee that guy will do it. That guy is not, he's a KGB former agent. Does anybody know who this guy used to be? So you think this guy's got compassion for others? This guy was designed to kill people. That's his job. That's how he operates, to scare people. So anyways, the whole point is this morning, I just got to thinking to myself when I woke up, I just thought, more than ever, we're living in a society where people are presenting messages, but in the end, the message they present, the opposite actually happens. Look at the message when it was about the lawless cities, less police, it's political, okay, but I'm just trying to give you examples in modern times, or anybody who watches my channel, you can just start stepping backwards and look at the messages that we've been told and what people told us would be the end result. It's the opposite. We were told having less police would be a better thing for society. We're witnessing more than ever that crime is through the roof. We're told in some ways illegal immigration is a compassionate thing for other people in the world to come here to escape their governing bodies. But at the same time, we've got fentanyl being imported in this country at record amounts of fentanyl showing up, record amount of people dying from fentanyl every day. And so the point of that is, one part of the society is like, well, illegal immigration is not a bad thing. It's the wrong message. The opposite actually happens from what you think is a good thing. So for me, my whole conversation today is we as the Ice Age car enthusiasts that just have a passion for our gasoline engine cars and diesel engine cars. Sadly, the governing bodies of the country, like California, California like sets the tone for the automotive industry. Yes, California is like the big boss, the big brother that really dictates what the automotive industry does in this country and in Europe as well. And so the whole point is we are witnessing how the green agenda is taking away the Ice Age love because you're hearing a message of what the EV agenda will do, but we all know that have common sense, it's not going to do what the EV agenda message is. It's not going to save the world. It's not going to make things better. For some reason, people are just heck bent an electric vehicle is more efficient, it's better for mankind, it'll cost me less money, and it's not correct. It's not factual. Meaning, I bought EV vehicles. The reason I bought EV vehicles, I want to see really what goes into owning an EV vehicle. And yes, I don't disagree. If you can charge your car at home, you're going to save yourself on the energy costs to drive it up and down the road. Yes. Is it going to be huge? Well, yeah, it can be if you're driving thousands of miles a month. If you're not driving, but if you're driving not a lot, yeah, it's chump change at the end of the day. I mean, so many people think, oh, I'll go to the gas station, I have to put $50 of fuel in my car now. Well, in all reality, what kind of boggles me more than anything now is so many things can be delivered to your home. You don't have to drive up to the store to get things. So many people now can remotely work from home. So many people can do so many more things today than have to drive a vehicle up and down the road. So it's kind of like, it's beyond believable, even to the point I even tell people I know, it's like you hear so many people crying the blues about fuel prices, and I get all that, but yet there's so many people that don't drive to work anymore. But yet they're unhappy. They go to the gas station when they used to spend $3-4 a month, and now they got to pay, in their eyes, double for fuel. I'm not supporting the double the gas prices, but the point is, the person who used to drive to work every day now drives to work 1 or 2 days a week. And he's complaining now about the gas prices? I mean, are you kidding me? This is just beyond, how do we think? How do you process information? So, once again, the message this morning, without just belaboring on everything that is associated with the opposite effect, we can go on forever. So I'm just going to kind of keep it at that. But I just think, sadly, more than ever, the message that we're told, in the end, it's the opposite. BLM, look at BLM. The message they presented was, it was about helping the black community. What's happened to BLM? I mean, sincerely, and anybody here that's, a BLM supporter, great. Can you show me where these people are that are going to inner cities and trying to resolve the huge, huge sad stories of the inner cities? And where's all that money that was donated to them? Well, I've been told through the media, they could be lying, that all the, they took the money and they just enriched themselves. I'd like to know. I'd like to even hear all the professional athletes that support BLM and that were, putting big BLM things. I'd like to hear. This as an individual, this is not me wanting to be mean or hate to BLM. I just like to know they said it. They created a message, but I think the opposite actually happened. Not just, once again, not a political channel. I'm just trying to relate with my followers that watch my channel. If you can just kind of connect the dots on the most recent things in our life, and you step back and you think to yourself, the message. What was the message? Okay? And so now you don't know what to believe. You're even hearing now that the Pfizer for the vaccine is saying that we never said it would stop the spread of COVID. It never said that you wouldn't get it. I don't know. It's so here's the whole point. It's the opposite that it comes. It seems like more than ever what you're told and what actually happens. And that's why for us ICE people, we're caught up in this whole green agenda that is taking away our passion for ICE vehicles because we're being told something that most know will be the opposite of what was told to you. Now, before I do sum it up, here's the next thing. Now they're doing, this is what's being told. It could be misinformation. And I don't deny I could be reading misinformation. But the latest thing is next year, the governing bodies of the world are going to do stress tests on banks. And so if you heard that language years ago, stress test was, are banks solvent during incredibly challenging recession and borderline depression times of economic infrastructure? No, the stress test is on seeing banks are planning to start evaluating us as individuals if we're basically green people, if we're basically acceptable in the social society. You're going to start having, this is what there's being talked about. I've heard it more than once, but the next step in our life of, like, I have a credit score, and my credit score allows me to buy things or not buy things. Well, the next thing is coming is your social credit score. Yeah, the next thing that's evolving is you as an individual are going to have a social credit score. Whether it's like, even for my YouTube channel, I could be looked at as an anti-green individual because I sit here and I promote Ice Age vehicles, even though I have green vehicles, even though I'm not a person opposing green agenda. I'm a person opposing what are the facts of the movement of the green agenda and what comes from decisions that, in my eyes, become, I think, a little too radical. So I'm not a person against change. That isn't who I am. I'm a person against an agenda to enrich certain people. That's the challenge. So anyways, so the world banks next year, Bank of America, Chase, JP Morgan, all the big banks of the world, they're going to start doing some type of stress test on their social environment of the individuals that are us. So you're going to eventually have a credit score, and well, you already have a credit score, but you're going to have a social credit score. If you're basically what it's saying, are you contributing to society or are you taking away from society? That's really the real undermining message that they're trying to create, so that more of us do, you're one. Everybody's one. We have to agree with the governing bodies. And so if you're anti-green agenda, you're going to have a credit score against you because you don't support the green agenda. So you're going to be looked at maybe as not socially acceptable for you to be able to qualify to get something. I don't know how the great details is just reading on the surface, but oh my gosh. So what's the opposite effect? What comes from that? What's the opposite end result from that? Yeah, wow. Hey everybody, appreciate you watching my channel, and I'm still on a mission to get a Toyota Tundra now. Do I think that gets pulled off? I would say 50-50 on that one, because I have one more guy that I know, it's a really incredible guy that could probably get it done if I really want it. Do I really want a Toyota Tundra? I don't know. But I'd rather kind of get the financing in place before I go drive one. Most people would say, well, drive one, and you probably want it, and you'll just walk away and you're wasting your time. Well, I really haven't wasted much time because I did everything over the internet, and I haven't driven to a dealership, and I've been doing other things. So I've got other projects going on. Yeah, so appreciate everybody watching my channel. And, yep, definitely it's different from me showing you a car. Some people, I think, kind of say that in a subtle way, like, hey! But it's more about me just wanting to share my information and my enthusiasm for the Ice Age followers, because I know the EV followers aren't following me because I'm not showing my EV vehicles, which, yeah, that's all. Oh, my F-150 Lightning truck has been bumped up to October 29th, build date from November 7th. So that thing will be coming in sooner. Maybe the way I optioned this truck out, different color basically, maybe I'm really excited about it. I don't know. It's just such a weird, yes, I drove my Raptor truck. That thing is just so badass. I mean, it's just so fun. So anyways, thanks for watching my channel. Have a great stay, or a great day, I should say. And God bless.